Top 10 ways not to be a jerk at Gen Con. First, you have to keep in mind to be polite. Oh, thank you, thank you. The number one thing that you can do to not be a jerk at Gen Con is be polite. That's because everybody is there for exactly the same reason you are. Well, more or less. Everybody's there to have fun, everybody's there to play games, everybody there is there to meet other people. There are 50,000 or so of you, and people are going to bump into each other. They are going to cut each other off when they're talking. They are going to do things that you might not like, and it might have been unintentional, but make sure that you're polite to people. Make sure, you know, you're friendly and you apologize for things and say please, say thank you. You know, just be considerate, because there are 50,000 other people there, and it's going to be impossible not to kind of piss each other off sometimes. Part of that is making sure that when you're walking through the dealer hall that you apologize to people that you bump into. Thank people for getting out of your way. Maybe being polite is just talking to people who are running their booths about their game. I mean, they've created this game and they want to sell it and they love it, and they're trying to teach people about it. So maybe it's polite to ask them about it, or maybe not to cut them off unless they're going on forever and ever. When you're actually in a game, playing a game, to be considerate of other people that are playing the game. You know, make sure that they get their turn. Make sure that they're not being left out, pushed out by bigger personalities. Make sure that, you know, you look around the table and say, look, this person hasn't had their go yet, and tell the other people that that person needs to have their go, because it's only fair, and they might be shy, and you know, that's their thing. You know, make sure you show up on time for your game, and after the game is finished, thank the GM for the game they've run. You know, I think that means a lot to them, rather than people just getting up and running away to their next game. You know, thank them for their next game. Make sure that you've cleaned up your little area where you were sitting. And also, if you didn't enjoy the game, you know, don't tell them it was shit, but it might help them to be like, you know, hey dude, thank you for running that game for us. I wish that, you know, these things had been different. Or, you know, don't just tell them it was crap, but tell them some constructive criticism that they can take away from this, and maybe for next year or the next time they run the game they can improve on it. So be polite. Number 2, you're going to want to exercise patience. Come on, what's the hold up? So, there's going to be a shit ton of people at Gen Con. Hard to imagine how many people there are going to be. There are going to be queues. I promise you. You are going to be standing in line at some point for something, and probably more than once. The queues are going to be long and annoying and frustrating, and people are trying to get past you and through you, and be patient. Hey, if anything, what I do is I wait in line with somebody else. You can talk to them, you can play a game with them if the queue's long enough, and if the queue isn't moving that quickly. You're going to have to be patient, because that's how you get to the end of the line, and that is how you are polite. As I said, there's going to be a lot of waiting. You'll be waiting for will call. If you didn't get your badge and tickets shipped to you, you're going to have to wait for food at restaurants. You're going to be waiting to get to the front at booths. All those booths are going to be so busy. There are queues curling around the convention center, and if you want to get to the front of that queue, you're going to have to wait, and you're going to have to be patient, and there's no point being grumpy about it, because you're at Gen Con, so you should chill out. Have fun. Make the most of being in queue at Gen Con. Can't imagine any other queue I'd like to be in, really. Number 3, get out of the way in the dealer hall when you are taking photographs. Oh, sorry. This happens all the time. It is so frustrating. People are just standing right there in the middle of the aisle with their camera out, you know, like this, you know, and they probably have a big bag on them, and they're just banging into people. People are banging into them, and it creates this massive backlog of people trying to get past them. It's like a massive traffic jam, and that's exactly what it is. It's frustrating for everybody. So if you need to take a picture of somebody in the dealer hall, ask them to step to the side, maybe move up a little bit to where there's a larger area to where you can actually take a photo of them. But that is a big tip, and you should follow it. Number 4, consider luggage and bags that you're taking with you. So, This is a little bit of an awkward one, because if you're going to be going to the dealer aisle at Gen Con, and if you've made a lot of plans to buy a lot of stuff, the easiest way, of course, is to take a big bag with you so that you don't have to carry lots of small bags or pile lots of stuff onto you. But there's also a major problem with big bags. The big bags, you know, you swing around and you hit people, knock things over, you get big and bulky and people can't get around you. So there is a big problem with the big bags. So I don't really know what advice to give you. I mean, if you're going to be carrying lots of stuff and buying lots of stuff, I guess bring a big bag, and once you're done, take it back to the hotel room and leave it there. But you have to keep in mind that people are going to try and get around you, and you're going to be way bigger, so when you swing around you're going to hit people or stuff and break stuff and knock things over. And you know, just be considerate, because you know, you don't want to annoy other attendees or ruin people's stock and stuff that they're trying to sell in their booth. So, you know, use your own judgment in that case. Always ask before taking pictures of people. It is always nicer and much more polite to ask the person if you can take their photograph. And I mean, to be honest, in the end, if you ask somebody to take their photograph, and if they're wearing cosplay, that's probably what they want you to do. But if you ask them, then you can ask them to do a pose or pose with you or something like that. There's always those people that are kind of lurking in behind people with their camera, and they're like, you know, trying to hide behind people and take it quickly and look away or something like that. I mean, I'm expecting people to take photos of me when I wear cosplay, but it's a little bit creepy. If a person's wearing cosplay, it's unlikely they're going to say no or anything like that. And just ask the person before you take a picture, because it's just generally polite to do that rather than to like do it creepily and hide behind somebody else. Number 6, shower and deodorant, and generously. This bad boy right here is gonna be your friend. Put one in every single bag that you have and are going to carry around at Gen Con. There is a thing called the Gen Con stink. Not looking at anybody in particular. The Gen Con stink is the thing where you're walking around the dealer, oh, I'm having a good time. Ooh, but you have to like just get out of there. It's the worst thing to ever happen when you're standing in queue and there's somebody either in front of you, behind you, around you, also standing in queue, and they stink, and there's no way you can get out of that queue without going all the way back to the back of it again, and you're going to be stuck with that person until you get to the front, and it's a nightmare. We all need to be considerate of each other at Gen Con. There are, as I said, over in and around 50,000 people, and the least we could do is shower once a day, reapply deodorant all the time, please. Nobody wants BO, nobody wants to smell it, nobody wants to be near it. And I do understand that there are people that have conditions. They work really, really hard to keep that under control, and I'm not talking to those people right now. Please, just do that, thank you. Number 7, tip generously. Here you go. The service you provided was great and the food was amazing. The way that I think about it is that the businesses of Indianapolis voted the people of Gen Con as their favorite people to come into Indiana. I guess we are the most polite people, generally quite understanding. I don't know why, but we should keep it that way. The other way to think about it is that, like, especially the restaurants that are right beside the ICC, you don't realize hundreds of people can fit into their restaurant and are fitting into the restaurant constantly during the con, including filling up their bars, including a queue outside of it trying to get in. Staff is constantly working, kitchen staff is constantly working, owners and managers are constantly working, and the food that they're churning out is generally fantastic. I'm talking about Scotty's and the Ram right now. I think it's only fair to be, you know, to reward them with a generous tip. Number 8, do not go on and on and on about your characters. Oh my god, have you seen my character? She's so cool.
She's like level 20 and she's like maxed out on all her stats, and she's got like every single skill ever. And on top of that, there's this time we went to do a quest and I killed this massive monster like all by myself. And her name is this, and she was born in this town beneath the mountain, beneath the rocks.
This is again a little bit of a tricky one. I mean, if people ask you about your characters that you've played before in other games that you've enjoyed, tell them. It's fine. But if nobody's asking you and, you know, maybe they don't care. I've only met a few people like that, and it's not that annoying. You can usually divert the conversation, but I mean, it's not, I don't want to know everything. I don't care. There was a rule, a unwritten rule before that you are not supposed to talk about your character for more than a minute. And I'm sorry, your character is probably awesome, but more likely than not, it's gonna be you had to be there kind of thing, and telling people about it might be a little bit moot. Number 9, have fun. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Let's go! Come on, drink on! The reason I'm putting have fun as a way not to be a jerk is because everybody wants to be around a fun person, around a person that's having fun and a good time. If you're not having fun, try and figure out why. Maybe you're taking things too seriously. Maybe you just need to chill out, take a minute, and, you know, remember that you're Gen Con. This is the place of the 4 best days of gaming. There's games, there's people, there's fun, there's celebrities, there's food, there's drinks, there's amazing things. So remember, have fun, because everybody wants to be around a person that has fun. Nobody wants to be around a grumpy person. I understand that there is crap things that happen. The will call might be too long. Your tickets might not be ready. GM might be crappy. Stuff like that. So you should totally have fun, because Gen Con's freaking awesome. And number 10, Wheatens Law. Swan. Wheatens Law, we all know it, right? Right? Say it with me. Don't be a dick. That's right. Thank you. Bye. Lost my deodorant behind the couch.